Hello everyone, I'm very glad that you listened to my story. Please give me a follow and like the video if you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment and provide feedback so I can improve the sound quality. Yes, I will now continue the unfinished story. Chapter 28 Merging. Clank clank clank. Our attacks met each other hundreds of times, our weapon clashed, but we can't seem to decide the winner. Seeing this, Bert's expression is ugly, then it suddenly turned crafty for a second before returning back to his ugly expression. Swish! When Bert's staff is in midair attacking me, its speed suddenly increased, and at the moment it appeared in front of me without giving me chance to defend, I hastily put my sword front of me to block the staff. Clank thud thud thud. The staff hit me so hard that I have to more than 10 steps backward to diffuse its force and stop myself from vomiting the blood. This move is really crafty and well timed. He had suddenly increased the power of staff when it's in mid-air and attacked me. Using the time of my retreating, I started to circulate advance moves of the exercise, and I got surprised that I able to reach the 24th circulation, but I did not get to celebrate because Bert's bloodhound-like staff speedily closing on me. Clang! Both of weapons collided and intense shock appeared on his face because this is the first time I have the upper hand in the fight against Bert. Stabilizing myself, I initiated the attack against him. Clank clank clang, swing of after swing I attacked Bert. He countered my moves easily with his staff. I just had a fraction of upper hand in this, but is not enough to bring big change into a fight. You are very good, said Bert said with a smile, but his smile looked quite weird. Thank you, I replied to his compliment. After talking to me, his moves became more aggressive, but I am easily able to fend them off. In this fight, I don't have to worry about the mana. Supreme Combat Exercise used very little mana and I still have about 50-60% mana in my central storage, and I can always refine new mana clouds which surrounding my refinement engine. Bert is looking really angry. This is the first time I've seen him in this condition, especially against private grade Evolver. Usually, he finished his fights against private grade within an hour, said one boy. Really, they were a little startled. Bert fighting against Evolver, who is lower level, and having a hard time against winning him. Don't forget, Bert hadn't used his all yet. He had yet to use his power and skills yet. When he will use power or skill, the fight will be over in minutes, said another boy watching this fight. The crowd watching the battle has increased a lot. There are nearly 300 people are watching. Ever since the battle had started, someone had anonymously left the message on the building feed that Rookie Crusher being crushed by Rookie. Lots of new people had come to watch the battle. If it normal battle, not the battle between Rookie Crusher and Rookie, and not being a lot of people being discontent by Bert, not many people would have come to watch this battle. Clank clank clank, we fought on. I am feeling little down. Whatever fractions of superiority that I had gained against Bert had vanished as Bert changed his fighting style. He moves to become more smooth and refined. SSSS. I let out a sharp breath as Bert's staff grazed pat my soldier. Many times I barely dodge his attack, and many times his staff grazed me, bringing stinging pain. This stinging pain is nothing compared to the soul stinging pain I am feeling due to circulating the 24th cycle of Supreme Combat Exercise. I've tried many times to broke past the 24th move of the exercise. I find there is a giant wall blocking my way, that is not letting me pass. Seeing my mana storage lessening, I stopped the mana refinement, purifying, process and started to absorb the mana cloud into my refinement engine. It will not take long. Within 15-45 minutes my central storage will again fill up 75% to 80%. The battle raged on for again half an hour, but there no change in the situation. I had a feeling that Bert hadn't given in all. He is still holding back something. I am vigilantly keeping eye on his every move. I don't be startled like before when he powers up his attack when he was midair attacking me. From the Bert's aggressive attacks, I can tell that he is seriously trying to hurt me. It is not just friendly spar anymore, but become a full-fledged fight that I intend to win, and for that every minute I am trying to breaking past 24th move of the exercise. But no matter how much I try, I can't seem to break that wall. whenever I try to break it, it won't break, just leave some ripples on it. I've played enough, Michael, now I will fight for real. Bert said. Big smile blossomed on his face and cherry red colored fire enveloped his staff. He attacks me with fiery staff. I also lighten my sword with silver fire and swing my sword to counter it, clank whoosh. As our sword touched, the fire on our weapons blasted apart by shockwave on both of our bodies. Deadly hot waves of heat wash all over my body but didn't affect me in any way. I didn't even flinch seeing that. A shocked expression appeared on the bar's face seeing this. He probably counting on fire to injure me or distract me, but seeing there even no change in my expression, he becomes completely shocked seeing that. There are two reasons for his fire didn't affect me a bit. First is Ashland Silver. As fire user myself, I have some fire immunity, but despite this little immunity, my skin definitely would have scorched by his fire if not for me circulating Supreme Combat Exercise, which makes a defense of my body stronger. As we fight, Bert's face becoming more and more ugly and his blazing fire's heat having no effect on me. As long as his fire didn't touch me directly, I will not get injured. Even if it did touch me, my skin will have some scorching marks, that's all. As long as I kept circulating exercise, my offense and defense always be good. I called back my silver fire from my sword as it is waste of mana and is no use against Bert as he also had fire immunity, but my choice seemed to irk Bert. His expression became so ugly seeing me calling back my fire. "You fucking cockroach, you won't just take a beating," he said as maniac expression comes across his face, totally different from his soft smile earlier. I started to get a bad feeling about this and attack him with wild abandon, but his defense is too tight. I can't get close him because of his fucking staff. I started attack wall to break past 24th move of the exercise, but it is no use, that wall wouldn't budge. "You're very lucky, Michael, you will get to experience my half skill not people get to experience," he said, and vine made of fire started to form on his staff and soon hydrangea flowers started to grow out of vines, and quickly fist-size hydrangea formed on the vines. "Take this," Bert shouted as whirled his staff toward me and 9 hydrangea flowers made of concentrated fire whirled toward me. It all happened so fast that it left me no chance to dodge. Time had slowed down as hundreds of thoughts came in my mind to how to defend against those flowers, but one is useful. I can see each and every movement of those flowers as they whirled toward me. I know, even one of the flower to touch me, I will be heavily injured and likely spend a week in the hospital, and this Bert is smart that he didn't aim any of my vital spot or building grade 2 weapon would have tranquilized him. Seeing there is no option but take this attack head on, gritting my teeth I circulated my mana violently, in big to break that wall, and violently raged my mana against that wall. Boom, sounded inside me as wall broke and immense pain drowned on me, but I gritted my teeth and endured as I have to survive these flaming hydrangea flowers. In this immense pain, I didn't notice that my mana rapidly draining away to form Mystery's seal on the center of my temple, which is also center of magic veins inside human bodies. Swish swish swish. I cut all the 9 hydrangea flowers and speedily moved toward Bert, who is standing on the ring with a shocked expression like a dumb chicken. I moved behind him and hit his head with the hilt of my sword. Thud, he unconsciously fell on the floor with a thud, but my sword also fell from my hand as me feeling very weak, I somehow sat on the floor and closed my eyes to look for a reason for weakness. When I looked inside me, I got startled by seeing my mana getting speedily, but then I laughed out loudly understanding the reason. This is happening because I have truly completed the 1 set of Supreme Combat Exercise, and the seal forming on the temple is proof of it. From now on, all the power I got when I in circulating 24th move of the exercise, it will completely merge with my body and will belong to me and became mine. Now every move of mine will be infused with the power of the first set of exercise. Every time I circulate the Supreme Combat Exercise in my body will be the second set of Supreme Combat Exercise. When I complete second set, I will form a second seal. If I able to for 10 seals on my temple, they will merge and bring qualitative change in my body. The higher the circulation of move would be, the more immense pain I will have to endure, This is also the reason why very few people practice the supreme combat exercise. Chapter 29 Glutton Ashland. Soon the seal had completed forming and it released warm current from it. I felt the warm current energy spreading all over my body, enriching every cell of my body. I feel so refreshed, feel like all the impurities are being washed away by that gentle current. The most important is that I feel strength raging through my body. I have merged with power that I got circulating the 24th move of the supreme combat exercise. Now I am back to circulating the first move of the exercise, but it will be second set's first move and the pain will be more immense than the pain I felt circulating the first set. I still remember earlier when I broke the wall of 24th levels, the pain, it was so immense that leg goes circulating after hitting Bert's head with practice sword's hilt. The only dangerous thing about this process that it took too much mana. It has completely emptied all the mana clouds that were lingering around my refinement engine and also taken nearly all the mana that I had in my central storage, leaving behind less than a 5% of it. When I am fighting Bert and after it, I didn't notice that there was a lot of crowds watching me and Bert fight. When I opened me I see more than 100 people looking toward me and discussing something. The interesting thing, I keep hearing Rookie Crusher got crushed, many of them as they looked at the still unconscious Bert. Good fight. You really crushed the Rookie Crusher, said a boy. Hearing this, all people started to laugh. Many people started to praise me for winning the fight. I just smiled at them and started to walk toward the door. Suddenly the training hall becomes silent when I look to see the reason for silence. It is the man in his early 40s, who is walking towards Bert. He lifted Bert on his shoulder and started to walk back toward the elevator, but he suddenly stopped. Good fight, he said with a small smile, but his eyes were scary. His face was all smile but his eyes had anger, I could clearly see it. Who is he? I asked the group of youths. He is Bert's father and also superintendent of the building. He said. I got little startled after that, but then shrugged off. He would be that petty to harm just because I defeated his son in the fight. Be careful, Bert had an elder brother who is very petty, he said. Even if his brother is specialist, what he can do, he can't blatantly beat me in the building without cause, and outside of the building, he won't have guts to do that because the city had very strict rules against violence in the city. You don't have to worry though, he left on the mission, he will not return in a month, said another young man, he clearly hinting me that I can easily change apartment in that time. Thank for the advice, I said to them and walked to the elevator. I will not change my apartment because of the fear of his brother and father. If worst comes see worst, I'll endure it till I enough power to fight back. It is already night when I entered my apartment. I am feeling so tired despite my body filled with vigor. It was due to mana. It is said that the body always has a 10% mana in their body or they will feel tired and weak. Choo choo choo. Ashland come out me and nodded in affirmation. Completing one set exercise also brought change into her body, making her body stronger and faster. I never able to read the reason behind that. It may do how humans got the monster's power from them, so it could happen vice versa. As I completed the first set of supreme combat exercise and integrated its power inside, Ashland must have shared that benefit as her mana is also about 10% left. Choo choo choo. She called out again, I am hungry too. I am ordering food from building kitchen, it will arrive in 10 minutes, I said to her and ordered two takeouts from building a kitchen. This food I ordered is very special. It is monster meat which cooked chef who specializes in cooking monsters meat dishes. My mouth started to water as normally cooked monster meat is so tasty, then I can't imagine how it would taste like after cooked by the chef. Ding ding, doorbell rang through my apartment. I opened my apartment door to find a square-shaped drone flying from my door. I flashed my holo watch to it. After receiving ID check, its front opened revealing 2 dinner boxes. I took out 2 dinner boxes from the drone and closed the door of my apartment. Choo choo, Ashlands cried out as she asked for her dinner. Calm down, your dinner is not going anywhere, I said. The put 2 boxes on kitchen stand and opened, then pass. A mouth-watering smell come out of food boxes. Ashland didn't even let the steam out boxes before she started to eat. Seeing her, I also started to eat. I let out the sound as I took the first bite of the food. It is really delicious, the most delicious food I've ever eaten. Every bite gives a juicy flavor of the meat with spicy ting in it. This is the first time I've ever eaten well-made monster food and I loved, but it also cost the pretty penny. It is 400 credits for 2 boxes of food, nearly double what I am going to spend for each day on the food, but tasting the food is worth it, and it is the cheapest dish on the menu, which had specialist grade monsters meat. If I were to order a dish made the heart of specialist grade monster, it would cost thousands of credits. I ordered this food from the kitchen because I want to taste how food made by the monster chef would taste like, and I have to. It tastes really good, but what a pity we can't eat this type of food as all my money will vanish if we keep eating this food every day. I plan on going outside after 3 days. I first decided to only hunt private stage monster, but earlier today I had merged with the power of the first set exercise. Because of that, I will see if I could hunt any LV.1 specialist grade monsters. Choo choo, Ashlyn called out, "You're so glutton, you already ate your and now you ask for mine," I said to her. Really, she ate food more twice much her size, but she is still asking for more. Take this. I took a small portion, my box gave it to her. Chew. She cried out, feeling dissatisfied with the portion of food she received. You will not get any more, I said sternly. She did ask for more again and ate her fill with her neck down. After I finished with eating, I removed the fist-size machine from the drawer. Its square is shaped and had a single clear luminous line across it. I put monster core inside it and activated it. It cleanly divided into 20 parts. I took out 1/20th part of the monster core from the machine and feed it. Ashlyn. Choo choo, she called out after tasting its bitter taste, but soon felt a surge of mana rushing inside her and stopped complaining. Good night, Ashlyn, I said to her as I laid on the bed to sleep. I plan on going early in the training facility to train. Chapter 30, Mayasta Bazaar. Training. The alarm rang out from my hollow watch, waking me and Ashlyn both. Last night I had set an alarm, at 5:30 it's Westwood City's dawn. Today is we will go for training and hunting outside. I had already made all preparations last. Packed everything, whatever I will need outside. Now I just have to freshen up and eat. Good morning, Ashlyn, I said to Ashlyn. She just cocked her head a little as she heard my greeting and went back to the staring at the balcony. For 3 she had been not talking to me. The next morning after we ordered that delicious food, I gave her she's regular packet food, but she refused to eat and demanded we order same delicious food that we ordered last night, but I refused. I had tried to appease her, saying after we killed some specialist stage monsters and got some money after selling we will order monsters food daily, but she refused to listen and stopped talking to me. She did eat her regular food sometime later as she felt hungry, but to this day she is being stubborn and did not talk to me. Seeing still not looking, I smiled and walked toward the bathroom to freshen up and take bath. After freshen up, I picked her from the balcony and combed her feathers with a brush. She may be not talking, but still, let me comb her feathers every day. There are 2 things Ashlyn is caring about, first is delicious food and second is her grooming. She will even forget her mortal enemy for few minutes as long as he gave her delicious food and groom her. She flew away from me automatically after I comb her feathers for 10 minutes. I put back the comb into the drawer by the bed and removes 2 packets of preserved food and a small part of specialist grade monster core for Ashlyn to eat. I microwaved mine and put her into her bowl as she liked to eat her food herself. She ate her food with grudging expression. Before tasting monster food made in the hands of chef, she had no problem eating this food, but since 3 days ago she ate that delicious food, she formed the grudge against this preserved monster food. I wore a gray suit which had light armor clothing sewing above vital parts of the body. The training suit is medium quality and defend against any attack of private stage monster and can lessen the blow of initial specialist grade, and it is in trend and looked very good on me. Let's go, Ashlyn, I said. As I walked toward the door, she flew from the balcony window and sat atop of my head. She knows I don't like it when she sat on the head, but she has been doing from past 3 days just to irk me. I didn't bother saying something to her because I know she will not going to listen. Myasta Park is the most dangerous forest in the Republic. The deeper you go, most dangerous monsters you will find. Our continent, which only 15% occupied by a human while rest by monsters, except the cities, no area could be called safe. Sometimes even cities got destroyed by the horde. In this cruel world only strong can survive. West Blood City is established on the outskirt of Myasta Forest and home for nearly 20 million adventurers, but when you venture into Myasta Park you hardly come across another human being. I had ordered hovercar that will take me to first gate of the city, and from there, I will take another hovercar which will drop me near Austin Lake. Austin Lake is a destination I chose for the monster hunting. It is the where peak private grade and initial specialist grade monster reside. It is the best to place for me to hunt monsters and train, and it is also one popular spot where peak private stage evolver train. Despite being popular area, it is still cover big areas. Odin Lake spread in 40 kilometers area, and it will be very hard to seek for help if I found myself in difficult position. The hovercar came, and in half an hour, it dropped me at first gate. It my first time seeing gigantic force field wall up close. There is big square is opened between them for the field to let's transport pass through. It dropped me outside big wall, near the bazaar. There is big bazaar just outside the first wall. It is known as Myasta Bazaar for its close proximity to Myasta Park. It is set up for the convenience of adventurers. They can easily sell the monster material they had hunted and get a good price. The Myasta Bazaar sells and buys everything whatever an adventurer need. Every grade of magic weapon you will find it here. It is also the hub where all big, small organizations buy raw materials for them, not just monster material, rare and precious herbs, minerals, gems, etc. You can sell and buy everything here. This bazaar had a specialty, that it can be disbanded at a moment's notice if the monster horde or any other emergency ever come across the city. The market will be expanded within half an hour. There are more than 20,000 small and big shops in the bazaar, but if the need arises they can be disbanded within minutes. I don't have anything to buy as I already brought everything from the mall and other things that I can't afford to buy. Ashlyn, who is using my head as nest, looking around curiously as this is also hers first time seeing such crowd in one place. She many times asked me to buy food for her, seeing thousands of restaurants and smelling mouth-watering smell coming from, but I declined her wish. That further ruffled her feather. In a tantrum she started to mess with my hair in the anger. I strode in the market for half an hour before ordered the ride. It will drop me as close Austin Lake within the limit of communication. In Myasta Park, any form of modern technological communications doesn't work, so it will drop me at the limit of communication range. Soon my ride came. This hovercar little different than hovercars that run on the city. These are heavily armored and have to pay more than 10 times for their service. I got in the car and it begins to speed up. I again started to study the map which I brought at a high price from the web. After going over it one more time I closed it as the car had reached the destination. It landed near on open space as all around me a tall tree. As soon as I landed, it flew away automatically closing the door. I once again projected the map from my holo watch to reassess my location. I have to walk 8 kilometers to reach the outskirts of Austin Lake. Without wasting any time, I strode toward it. Chapter 31 Brown Striped Badger. The sound of monsters could be heard all over the forest. I have come across many low-level monsters, but I didn't bother with them as long as they didn't bother me. Swish. I killed a Leave 2 private grade monster in one move. I did not even collect its material because they are not worth much and only dead weight. I am only going to take Hearts LV3 private grade monsters because they sold at 500 credits while other parts are not worth taking. Only specialist grade monsters are treasure. That is why I have come to the Austin Lake, to hunt specialist grade monsters. Soon I reach the outskirt of Austin Lake. The lake is some 10 to 15 kilometers away, but this is an area where initial specialist grade monsters and peak private grade monsters are found. Growl. I heard, when I looked toward it, it is swift gale cougar. It looked quite young and at leave 3 private grade, its fur looked luxurious and shiny, and it is one of the monsters that are in high demand. Swift-gale cougars inhabit mountainous region which is ahead of Austin Lake. They rarely venture in the Austin Lake. This young swift-gale cougar must have got lost from its mother. It dashed towards me, ferocious glint in its eyes. I just swiftly remove my sword and wait for it to come closer. As it is 3 meters ahead of me, it suddenly jumps with intentions of biting my neck. It is fast, but I can clearly see. I gripped my sword and stood in my original position. I want to let it come closer to me and decapitate it in a single move. Just as it came close and only at hand distance from, I swing my sword to cut its neck in a single move. Slick spurt. My sword touched across its neck, but as my sword enters the inch deep and draws out a spurt of blood, but it changed its direction midair by swinging its body at an unnatural angle and fled into the forest and soon disappeared into the forest. Really, it's swift as gale as it named. Damn. I said as such price got away. Just the price of its fur is equal to the LV.1 specialist grade monster cores. Those red nail rats that we encountered are one of the weakest monsters. Special, even that cougar monster that I just fought just now can easily kill tens of initial level specialist grade red nail rats. I was too overconfident just now. I thought I could kill it with one swing, but I didn't consider that swift gale cougar, as its name suggests, is extremely fast, especially when its life is in danger. Sigh, I sighed and take a note to remember full details about the monster that I am fighting. I walk toward the lake. I plan to 5 km away from the lake, this neither close to lake nor too far. I chose this distance because I do not want to alert another monster while I am fighting the different monster. Choo choo. Ashlyn called out, telepathy. She told me to look left, when I see, in the bushes is a brown striped badger and it was preparing to launch sneak attack me. It is LV.1 of specialist grade monster. Seeing being caught, it didn't shrink in the bushes but come to attack me head on. Clank clank clank. Sparks fly out as its nails and my sword met. This brown strips badger monster is tall as my thighs and has nails that are double size of a palm. Good, I said, and I fought against this badger. This badger is strong as Bert and very agile despite its chubby figure. The good this is, that it didn't have any casting, elemental / long range powers, or it will be very hectic. What I see in front of me is not brown stripped badger monster but possible 8,000 credits. Being specialist grade monster, not just its core is important, its skin, meat and nails will also fetch a good price. Slick. I aimed for its neck but it dodges on the time, while my sword got few of its hair. Clang clang, my sword clash with the monster but never able to injure it. One of my weakness is that I am having difficulties following it. Due to its an agile body, it could easily climb the tree and dodge my attack at last second. It's not that I don't have the strength to follow it, it's that I don't have a method to utilize that strength to its the apex. Combat styles are these methods. They have complicated movements, can be used in any environment or terrain or situation. With the combat weapon, I can draw out the full potential of my body. Clang. I defended from its attack as it attacked me from the tree. It does it all the time since we were fighting. It is not missing any chance of attacking me. It is a good thing that power of the first set of exercise has merged with me. With that power, I can fend off its attack. In 3 days have never successfully circulated the moves of the exercise. The immense pain hit me as soon as I start to circulate it. It is many times stronger than the 24th movement of the first set. Feeling that pain, I just never want to do it again. I have been fighting badger for an hour but I've never able to injure it because of its damn agility, and Ashlyn isn't helping me as she is still angry with me. Ashlyn, if you help me now, I promise I'll order delicious food for you daily as long as we have money for it. Money, I said. Half an hour ago I have also given her offer for a whole week and then a month, but she refused to budge, saying she wanted to eat that delicious food every day. Hearing her say that through our emotion bond, I didn't give another offer to her again, thinking I'll be able to defeat this badger soon, but half an hour passes and that badger is still energetic as ever. Choo choo, she cried out with her head high arrogantly and flew away from my ear. Badger got cautious after that in fighting, but after 15 minutes she flew away and didn't near, he let go of his cautions. Clang clang. Brown stripped Badger monster and I kept fighting. As for Ashlyn, she is hiding in the sky waiting for form order to attack. I want this fight finished one move as she sneaked attack on. Now, I said as Badger jumped down from a tall tree to attack me. Whoosh, a big silver fireball double the size of Ashlyn rained down from the sky aiming for Badger. Seeing a big fireball coming toward it with full speed, monster agility changed in the direction in midair. Stab thud. I stab its skull in a single move and it fell on the ground. I have been carefully observing this Badger for an hour and a half, studying all of his moves. When it jumps from tall tree to attack me, I saw it is the best chance for attack and order Ashlyn to attack with a fireball that she had been holding on for a while. I already expected it to dodge the attack. Seeing it agility, I just wanted to dodge it. It dodged in the left direction as I predicted, and I had already moved there when monster mind was occupied with the incoming sneak attack, and when it moved left to dodge, it already served itself to on silver platter and I just have to stab it. Chew chew. Ashlyn cried out victoriously. Good job, Ashlyn, I said and patted her as she was flying in front of me in joy. Chapter 32, The Complete Mysteries of Totems. I looked the dead body of the monster on the ground, bleeding it from a stab wound on. The minutes later even bleeding had stopped. I put down my backpack and remove all the things which I need to skin the monster. Ashlyn keeps an eye around, I said. Shuyo, she cried out and flew away on the tallest tree to watch the surrounding. I carefully skinned the monster without damaging much with my sword. I remove core, heart, and meat and other monster parts. I quickly pocketed the core in my pocket as it most important and expensive part of the monster's body. Separating all of it, I remove the preservation cubes and place them on the heart and meat of the monster. The preservation will keep the meat fresh and safe. The preservation cube melted as soon as it touched the monster's parts and started to encase all in its film automatically. Soon all of the parts covered in the thin transparent film. I put monster heart and skin and nails inside my backpack, as they take less weight on my backpack, and I buried the meat which is heaviest in the ground. I will take it out on my way back to the city. Ashlyn, let's go, I said as I burned waste material of monster. I again begin to walk with Ashlyn in two, as we again searching for a new monster to hunt. It was a very good hunt. If I take it back everything to the city, it would fetch me 8,000 easily. Now it is only late morning, I have the whole day to hunt. If I could find one or more specialist stage monster, I could easily earn 20 to 25,000 easily. I was basking in the glory of a recent kill when the very nauseating smell hit me. I thought it was the smell of rotten monster and about to walk away around it, but being curious I took a peek where the rotten smell was coming from. Gasp. I gasped from what I saw. It was a half-rotten body of human being. Its half-skeleton could be seen in rotten flesh and most of the bones on the skeleton looked broken. It didn't look like a monster, did it? He doesn't have any accessory on him except for his clothes. I can tell he is killed by humans, but after killing him, they didn't do the basic courtesy to bury or burn his body. At least it's something they can do, but they didn't. Seeing this body, I remember what I have read and heard about solo adventurers. Only 6 out of 10 can remain alive in their first year of adventuring. To them it's not just danger of monster but also the fellow humans. Enduring the rotten smell, I got closer to it and threw a fireball at it to burn the body. Soon body started to burn. As a decent human being, this is least I could do, to burn his body and bury his ashes in the ground. This body took longer than I thought to burn. The normal private stage body could burn within a minute, and that specialist grade monster was turned into ash within few minutes, but this rotten body took nearly half an hour to turn in ash. I waited till the whole body turned in ash and dug a small hole beside to bury the ashes in it. I wore the gloves before touching the ashes. I consider myself a nice person, but I am not that nice to touch ashes of an unknown person with naked hand. I pick ashes with both of my hand, put in the hole that I just dug. On my hands touch some solid in the ashes, thinking it is stone I let be, but when I throwing ashes into the hole, I got a clear look at it is thumbnail-sized transparent tiny glass box. I put it back on the ground to inspect later. After burying the ashes of that man, wash my hand and that tiny box with water. When I carefully looked at it, that inside the tiny glass box is a tiny copper color thing. I couldn't contain my curiosity and opens the box. Oh my God! I shout out, it is a relic of the past. Inside the box is a small chip which people used thousands of years ago to store the data. This is a huge fortune. There is a high demand on the market about this past relic. It is data chip that was used to store data in it. If put it on the site, I will get millions of offers. I still remember the news I've read 2 years ago, written by women who found this type of data chip by luck. A woman found a chip of this kind when she was planting flowers in garden and thinking of it, just trinket of the past she put on the web for auction casually and didn't expect much from it, but in middle of the night she was woken by the insane amounts of notification, thousands, and overnight it had reached millions of notification had rung on her hollow watch about the offer for data chip. That chip was sold to more than 100 million credits, and she said if there was even ounce of data in that chip, she could have gotten 10 times more than she got from the empty chip. Feeling excited, I hastily opened the glass box and activate the scanner of my hollow watch to scan that chip. The hollow watch has a function to scan many things, and reading these data chip is a very simple thing for it. My heart thumped as my hollow watch is scanning the chip. I prayed that it had some kind of data in it so its price could rise again. By selling this chip I will get enough money that I can peacefully train, and maybe I'll even have a chance to become master grade evolver and participate in the League of Heroes. In second the process of scanning is over, I carefully put the chip back into my backpack's safest space. Then I looked at hollow watch to see if that chip had any data stored in it. Yes. I shouted top of my lungs when I find there is a file, but I got little disappointed when I see there is only one file. I cursed myself for being over-greedy. I touched open the file and greeted by the book cover. It is a book, and I got pleasantly surprised by seeing familiar languages. Just that, it is written in a different format. When I read the cover of the book, I stayed silent a while. Even I don't know what to feel, but one thing I am sure I absolutely can't. Anyone knows that I've data chip relic or the information it contained. Even I, mostly clueless about the world, can feel what catastrophe it will bring me or my family because of the title of the book is The Complete Mysteries of Totems by Alexander Copperfield. Chapter 33 Iron Rhinos. Totem is sacred, those who can construct it are considered elite. As far as I know, no one in the Republic understands the runes from which totems and mana refinement engine are created. In this book had complete information about totem creating and introduction of each and every rune to algorithms and formulas. Everything is there. I didn't understand much after reading some pages. It will require a detailed study of years to fully understand this book, but in that time I have to make sure I will not tell a soul about it. After closing the window, I burn the surrounding area which had my smell and walks away. I have to leave an hour before the dusk. In the night monsters became more active. After walking 15 minutes in the forest, I didn't encounter monster that I want to kill. All were low-level monster, but still I didn't dare to go too close to the lake, that the place where groups of monsters gather. Any group of 5 to 6 monsters of specialist grade can easily kill me. I heard faint metallic sounds on the west side. Some people must be fighting near. Curiously I walked toward it. As I got closer to, sounds of fighting became more distinct. Not long after I reached near the fighting scene. 2 people not much older than me, a boy and girl, were fighting 4 aqua bulls. They didn't look like they are surrounded by monsters but hunting them. They all are at LV.1 specialist stage. Seeing those 4 aqua bull monsters I felt jealous. That's not just aqua bulls but 50,000 credits or more. Due to their big size, their meat would sell for more money than their monster cores. I left after watching the fight for some time. I don't want to have much time and didn't want to give the wrong signal. For the past 2 days, I have been operating my refinement engine from waking up to sleep. First, it was uncomfortable and painful. My head was in constant pain, but still, I endure and continued. In the past 2 days, I never stopped operating my refinement engine except for sleeping. When I first constructed it, I could only able to operate it for near 2 hours, but the battle in the tunnel my psyche had a big change as I keep operating refinement engine while fighting the monsters. In the training facility, I also keep operating refinement engine while fighting. My head hurts, but it is nothing compared to the pain I felt when I circulate the exercise. 2 days ago, an idea comes to my mind that what if I operate refinement engine whole while training and doing other activities. First it seems crazy idea, but then I thought it through. With my low level talent, if I were to refine my mana only 2 or 3 hours day or while fighting when refinement process became unexpectedly fast, it would take me years to reach my desired purity, which is above 80%. There are also many potions which could help purify mana after mana reached 65%. No position could directly help to purify mana, but that doesn't mean there aren't potions which couldn't help indirectly. There are my potions which indirectly help in purify mana. One of such potion is heart racing potion. This potion indirectly help to accelerate refinement engine process. There are hundreds of such potions, but they all are expensive that I can't afford. My only option is this way. The first day I felt an immense headache, I endured it and carried on operating my refinement engine. The second was also not much better, but I carried on, and today is the third day and I am currently feeling headache, but I am enduring it. My mana's purity had risen by few points in 2 days. If I keep refining it may able to reach my desirable purity in mana. I know it will be difficult in the future because it takes more time and efforts to further purify mana after it reached certainly purity. I did not come across any specialist grade monster as I was roaming in the outskirt area of the Odin Lake, but I did find 2 LV.3 specialist grade monsters which I finished in half an hour, including taking out their precious parts. As I was walking, I saw 3 specialist grade evolvers, walking toward me with their bloating backpack. Each of those backpacks weighed more than doubles that their weight. Looks like they had a big haul. We just gave each other smile and didn't talk much. Seeing their haul, I make my mind and walk toward the lake. There are thousands of monsters near the lake, but it is also dangerous. Austin Lake considered one of the safest areas in Myasta part because it has few high-level monsters inside the lake and they rarely come out. I make my mind and decide to enter core R of the lake periphery. As I was walking inside, I stopped when I heard something. It seemed to cry of some angry monster. I silently hide in the bushes and slowly walk toward the sound. If monsters are, I might be able to fish in troubled water. I told Ashlyn to come inside me and silently crawl without making any sound in the bushes. The angry growls getting louder and louder, and I even felt little vibration under my feet. That monster may be little heavy to create such vibration. My mouth started to salivate just thinking of monster size. I try to guess what type of monster it would be, but the sound is too indistinct to know which monsters are. As I got closes, the sound became clear and I am 90% sure to my guess, but I am not happy making that guess because killing that monster would be too difficult, but I didn't stop going toward it. I am hoping that the monster injured as I might able to kill it. As I got closer, I got into the boundary of open area and I had been correct. There are 2 young iron rhinos in front of me. Fuck. I cursed inside my mind, seeing scene front on me. There are a group of 6 devil monkeys teasing the 2 iron rhinos, and those 2 rhinos very angry about it. They were so angry they fallen 20 to 30 trees in their rage. The devil monkeys looked like the monkey monster that Kevin had, but the only difference is that Kevin's monkey had a third eye on its temple. The monkeys are in private stage and couldn't make a scratch on specialist grade iron rhinos, but they still attack iron rhinos with their nails just to piss them off and have fun teasing them. I was about to leave seeing devil monkeys there, but just as I was about to leave, the monkeys started to leave after hitting rhinos on their temple one after another. I guess they had their fun. I am not surprised seeing them leave. The devil monkeys irritate anyone as long as it interests them, but they also quickly lose their interests after having enough fun. Within minutes all monkeys left and angry rhinos sat on the grass tiredly. I guess their monkey must have been irritating them for quite a while. I am in a deep dilemma to attack these 2 rhinos or not. I am not sure I can penetrate the skin of the rhinos as they are monsters which are known for their tight defense, but if I leave, I will be saying goodbye to 40,000 credits. Chapter 34, Leaving Myasta Park. Choo choo. Ashlyn called out telepathically. She said attack it. She could tell that more monster we kill, the more delicious food she will get to eat. Alright, I said and stand up from the bushes. She also comes out of me. You distract one while I handle the other one, I said to Ashlyn. I grip my sword and come out of bushes. It's only been minutes since Devil Monkey left and iron rhinos are still angry. These young iron rhinos at LV.1 specialist grade monster, they are 2 meters wide and looked like made of rusty iron. Their offense is a sharp horn on their head and has an extremely tough hide that is very difficult to pierce. That is why only LV1 specialist stage or higher level evolver hunt it. The biggest reason I even try to go hunt them is that of their biggest weakness. Their speed is their biggest weakness, that is why the Devil Monkey able to harass them so easily. Less speed doesn't mean they are defenseless, their strength is immense. If I got straight blow from them, I'll be crushed in a single move. Let's attack, I said to the Ashley, and we move toward our respective monsters. Bellow, a cry come out of rhinoceros mouth as we move to attack them. Swish slice. I stuck towards its back, but nothing happens except for blood red line, inside which blood is trickled. It's not even called the light injury to iron rhino, it was just scratch. Bellow. Thud. Swish, it tried to ram its horn in me but I speed to move away. Being missed, it bellowed angrily and again tried to ram its horn in me. Doing its attack, I again struck it with my sword. Boom, it missed me and struck the tree. The whole tree broke in two by the rhino. I am here, you idiot, I shout out loudly to anger it. Bellow. It again bellowed and run toward me with it heavy steps. I have to say this iron rhino looked and is very dangerous. Just using single horn attack, it broke the tree trunk that is double size me. If I were in that place, I would have directly gone to heaven. Slice slice slice. I attack it again, this time it's behind. What I wanted to do is make it tired by it headlessly attacking trees. It bellowed again and attacked me with its horn. That horn on its head is extremely sharp and it is also core material in making grade 1 magical weapons. It is said that direct attack from LV3 corporal stage evolver can't cut it, that attack can only dent its horn. Some of the monsters have something important on them except for their monster cores. That cougar monster I encountered earlier had skin in high demand, just like that iron rhinos also had in it. Its horn and its hidden cell really expensive. It hides also use in making grade 1 magical artifact, armor and shoes. Ashin also doing quite a good job distracting the other rhino. She was attacked with her fire now and then, and sometimes she just sits on its head and breath fire on it. The rhino has no other option that rams its head onto trees to get Ashlyn out of its head. Clank. Bang put. All of sudden, this rhino speedily move its head to attack me with its horn, leaving me no option to dodge. I have to counter it with my sword, just as it horn and my touch. Next moment I am thrown backward by full force. I directly banged the tree and waited for the bird. Boom. I dodge as it came attacking me, seeing injured by the tree, but I dodge early. I am really injured. First be the shock I receive when I countered its a horn, and again when by back blasted against the tree. My injury is neither light or heavy, but it will take more than an hour to heal. I am done playing around, I said with bloodied teeth, and lighted my sword with silver fire. With it my attacks become more lethal. Slice. Bellow. Iron Rhino bellowed angry as I attack his neck with the flaming sword. This time sword dug deeper and draws out more blood. I would have its eyes, as they were the weakest spots of any monster, but eyelashes of Iron Rhino are hard as iron, and any attack of mine will just leave scratches on it. Its neck is also extra this to cut, but now that I have lightened my sword with fire, I try to attack only its neck, but all I can draw is a thin line of blood, no matter how I try. Still, I am trying to concentrate attacks the one spot, I want to bleed it die. Slice 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 whoosh. I attacked, but as soon as its neck moved little I dodge it. It had grown little smart, it always attack me in unexpected time, but I am not an idiot either. After getting beat up by its a surprise attack, I move away from it, with the slightest movement of its neck. Choo choo. Ashlyn dancing in front other rhino, teasing it and intentionally breathing fire on its face. That rhino got so angry that it tried to attack her with every one of its strength. Slice. Bellow, it below as I attack it again on its neck. That wound got nearly 2 meters deep, but it's still not hitting its blood artery. If this going on, I may be not able to finish it before the dark. Just as that thought surfaced in my mind, I hurriedly looked at my watch. Damn. I cursed loudly. Only 50 minutes till the time I have left the forest and about 1.5 hours till dusk. I don't want to in the forest in time of dusk, that is period when monsters start to become active. I don't want to leave these 2 rhinos. These rhinos will help me solve a lot of my problems, but I don't have much time. At current speed, it will take me 2 hours to kill them and I don't have that much time. Now there is only one option left, supreme combat exercise. I thought I would relax for a month before again starting that devil exercise, but this condition left me a choice. I have to endure that pain for 40,000 credit. Gritting my teeth, I started to circulate the first move. After completing 1 set, a seal had been formed in my temple, and now the first move that I circulate would be that of the second set. I circulated the first move. The only thought kept me going is the money that I will get the selling these 2 iron rhinos. Slice. I again slice at its neck. The wound deepened but not much. Enduring the pain I circulated the second move. Dodging its horn, I attack again. It deepens more. At this speed it would take me a half an hour to kill it. Burning in this immense pain, I circulated the third. I nearly blacked out and killed by its horn in my days if not for the Ashlyn calling me out telepathically. Ah! Screaming loudly, I started to attack its neck, with all the strength in my body. Spurt. Finally it started bleeding heavily. I again attack. Much time did to blood lost. It started to slow down. Whoosh. Tear. Fuck. I attack me so speedily at last minute that I barely had a chance to dodge. I dodged but suit got hurt and got lightly injured on the stomach. After getting injured, I attack it again crazily. Thud. That rhino fell down heavily. I did not give second look to fell rhino and moved to second rhino. The other rhino will be dead by bleeding. I finished with the second rhino. Seeing its partner dying, the second rhino tried to run, but its speed is very slow, and I am now circulating their move of the exercise. It was no match by being and killed by me in 10 minutes. Ashlyn, keep an eye. I said to Ashlyn as began to dissecting and preserving them. I didn't stop the circulation of exercise as I will need to endure the weight of materials of 2 rhinos. My backpack weighed near 1,000 kilograms when I finished putting everything in my backpack. My backpack had become tall as me. I drank mana potion as I have less than 10% of mana left. I lift my heavy backpack while circulating the third movement of the exercise. It's already 10 minutes more than the time limit I had set up for leaving the forest. I ran with all my might. Some low-level monsters had come to me attacking, but I cut them while running. I didn't even pick the badger meat that I had berries, thinking if return within a week I'll retrieve it. Just as my watch catch the signals again, I ordered hovercar and still kept running. It can track my location, so it will have no problems finding me. I kept running as I was still in the vicinity. After half an hour of running, I saw hovercar floating above me and stopped. Keen as I landed, it door already opened. I put down my backpack and entered the hovercar. The hovercar had a robotic arm which will carry my backpack. After the hovercar's door close, did I stop circulating the third move of the exercise and close my eyes in peace. Chapter 35, Selling Monster Material. Edited by Lamash LMZ. BZZZ. I woke up to the loud ringing bell and vibrating seats. I knew that I had fallen asleep in the hovercar due to tiredness. Quickly, I got out of the hovercar still feeling a little groggy. It flew away after it had dropped my backpack with its robotic arm. Thousands of other hovercars could be seen around me, picking up and dropping off the adventurers, but mostly dropping them. Some hovercars had special logos from different organizations. They probably came back from training their members in different areas where normal adventurers would rarely pass by. I picked up my backpack and walked towards the building which had Wells' logo on it. They are one of the top company in the monster food distribution business, even the packed monster food that Ashlyn eats is from them. "Sir, how may I help you?" said the pretty lady from behind the counter. Probably having an idea of what I want to do and seeing my backpack, she continued. "Please, place them all on the counter," all the while maintaining a polite smile. I started removing all the monster materials from my backpack and placing it onto the counter. In about a minute, when I did, a shining ray flashed starting from the left then going to the right of the counter, scanning all of the materials. After a few seconds and glancing at something behind the counter, the lady said, "The store can offer you 34,000 credits. "I accept," I replied, and almost immediately a notification rang out of my hollow watch. "Pleasure doing business with you, sir," she said politely after nodding. I left the building with a happy smile. This was the first credit I earned from the selling monster materials. No wonder, most of the adventures I have seen have luxurious clothing. Just hunting 4 or 5 monsters they can get a normal grade 1 magical artifact. Almost all of the specialist grade adventurers I've seen today have at least 2 grade 1 magical artifact, but it isn't all sunshine and roses for them. As of 10 new adventurers that come to West Blood City, only 6 survive. In the first place, you never know when a strong monster is going to appear in front of you. The lives of the adventurers are unpredictable. One day you are alive and the next you may be dead while out hunting. That is why most common adventurers retire after they have amassed enough fortune to live their life happily without any worries. Choo choo choo. While I was still in deep thought, Ashlyn comes out of me and starts to demand food. I smile seeing this. I was just waiting to see how long she could hold on, seeing there are hundreds of food trucks hovering all around us. Choo choo. She continues to demand more, seeing that I gave in to her request. "Okay. I'll order a large portion for you," I said while I laughed at her. She says that eating a normal portion won't do any more and that she wanted a bigger portion. I took a seat at one of the empty tables which are placed in front of food trucks. Almost all of them are full, as it is time for the adventurers to come back from the forest and enjoy the food with their friends and partners. Many droids could be seen hurling the dishes and empty plate in and out of the food truck. It didn't take long until our order to arrive, with droid flying to us with it. As usual, Ashlyn didn't wait for anything and started to dig in. She ate the food with relish and her face didn't come out of the plate for even a second. She really did love food. I also started to eat too. It is delicious, just like the food from the apartment canteen. Enjoying the taste, an idea pops out of my head and I open the web to check if it is possible. "It's possible," I said in excitement. I was checking if it was possible to deliver food to my town. They say that they can deliver the monster food to my parents, but there is an 8-hour distance from my town and their closest branch in a Class 6 city. I made arrangements so that my parents would get the delivery of monster food 3 days a week, every week, as it is important for them. In the past few days, I read that the human body has to bear a huge pressure in exchange for the monster pet's powers. So this food will help them immensely in bearing the load of the power, and more important, my mother is pregnant, so she will need much more nutrition than normal. Thinking about my family, I still felt a little uncomfortable and had complex feelings about my mother's pregnancy. I know I should not feel as such because it is a natural thing, but, still, I cannot do anything about it. The food delivery will cost me 12,000 credits per month and put pressure on my finances, but if my haul every time will be good as today, then I wouldn't have to worry about the credits. Knowing that most of the adventures go outside twice a week, I also decided to the same. Every 3 days I will get out to hunt. 3 days would be long enough for me to heal any injuries and train. As I still had to finish eating half of my meal, Ashlyn had already nearly finished eating hers, which was double that of mine. One thing for sure, her eating speed hadn't slowed down by a bit. "Chuyu!" Ashlyn cried out in content as she finished eating and laid on her stomach lazily. I would say it's become her habit to lay on her stomach after overeating to digest the food. I also finished my meal soon enough. I stood up ready to leave the table when I noticed that Ashlyn was not moving, this glutton. Ashlyn, let's go. I said, but she didn't move and only called out in lazy tone, choo choo you. You. I said, exasperated, she is forcing me to carry her as she is too tired and full from eating. Helpless, I picked her up into my hands as she is laid there lazily. Then I called a hovercar to take me to my apartment. I didn't even have to wait for a minute when a hovercar arrived. I got into it with Ashlyn still refusing to move. Choo choo, Ashlyn called out again, telling me to lift her to the window as she wants to see the outside scenery. She is a very curious monster who likes to see and experience the world. With reluctance I lifted her enough to let her see the flashing scenery. Soon enough, we reached our apartment building, but before entering the lift I walked towards the exchange point. As I still hadn't cashed in the 3 specialist grade monster cores that I got from the 3 specialist stage monsters that I had killed. Putting my 3 monster cores into the slider, I waited for them to be scanned. Soon the machine quoted the price for the monster crystal and I accepted it. The 3 LV1 specialist grade monster cores sold for 17,000 credit. I got a little bit more money because Iron Rhino's cores were of higher quality. I have a total of 49,000 credits in my account, and in a single week, I had spent nearly 50,000 credits. I still have to buy many things, and one of the most important ones is some higher quality training suits, as the one I am wearing is wasted already. Chapter 36, Ellen's Call. Edited by Lamosh LMZ. Traying. I woke up to the sound of my hollow watch ringing. Someone is calling me. I woke up groggily and received the call without even checking the caller's ID. Michael. Were you sleeping? Asked a high-pitched voice. I hadn't heard that voice in a week. Yes, I just woke because of your call, I said in a groggy voice. Yesterday's hunting trip really tired me out. The one who is calling me is my good friend Ellen. She had been selected by Crystal Knights and sent Carol City for training. So, how's Carol City? She asked, now that I could clearly see her projection on my hollow watch. She was wearing a form-fit training suit and had cut her hair into a stylish bob. Whenever I see a bob, I remember one of the most embarrassing memories in my brain. I think it was 6 months ago. I had to do some homework that I hadn't finished the previous day for some reason. So during the break, I went to one of the abandoned rooms in the school to do my homework in peace. But when I opened the door, I found myself seeing 2 naked girls kissing each other in a passionate frenzy. And you guessed it, one of the 2 girls was Ellen and other was some cute girl with a short bob. I closed the door slowly, took a step, sighed and ran away fast as I can. So for a few days, things got awkward between us, and we soon forget about it. The worst thing is that I saw Ellen take another girl to the abandoned room. And here I was, I who hadn't been able to get past first base with my ex-girlfriend. What are you thinking about? She asked, seeing me zoned out. Your haircut, I replied without thinking. What about my haircut? Doesn't it look good? Ellen asked, thankfully not understanding my reference. It really suits you, I said with a pleasing smile and continued, how is Mayfield City treating you? Seeing that she is wearing her training suit, she must be going to train. It is really fun but also a little tense, she said in an excited tone. She seemed to have a good time in the Mayfield. 3 days ago, Stella leveled up to LV2 private stage. And yesterday, I was to fight against a specialist stage monster in the facility. I got beaten so badly that I was barely able to walk. She said, if one carefully looked at her face, you could see a little faint red mark on her face. Enough about me. How is Carol City? She asked me. I lied to my friends and family about coming to West Blood to train. I told them that I was going to Carol City, which is famous amongst low-level adventurers and is way less dangerous compared to the West Blood City. It's not as interesting as yours, I said to dodge the question. She also didn't press the issue. Choo choo. Ashlyn chirped as she flew onto my shoulder, calling out my lie. It's not like I don't want to tell her the truth, it's just that I've also leveled up it and I don't want to be discouraged and all. Ashlyn, look at you, you have become even more chubby, Ellen said, looking at Ashlyn. Of course, she had become chubby, she ate like a glutton. Chew, she chirped happily, taking it as a compliment. Suddenly, I remembered about the combat styles and decided to ask her, Ellen, are you studying advanced combat styles? I wanted to know if she had been learning advanced combat style. I also decided to earn enough money from monster hunting to study a good combat style. Yes, they have been teaching it to us from the first day of training, she said. I nodded, thinking so it's true. I have heard from the most adventurers here that one of the first things an organization teaches to their members are their advanced combat styles. Their training lasts a year and after that, they get sent to different branches across the Republic and sometimes outside of it too. Which grade did they put you in? I asked cautiously. I have many questions regarding organizations that I can't ask anyone, not even as we weren't that good of friends, and now I can finally ask Ellen without hesitation. But hearing my question, her face fell, then became bright and resolute. All the youths who were selected from small towns are automatically placed in the D group, but you can give a 3 days exam to upgrade in C, she said. I know that the organization's trainees are divided into 4 categories, which A, B, C, and D, with being the highest and D being the lowest. The higher level class there are in training, the more advanced training methods and resources they will receive. Madeline from a few days ago also got accepted in Crystal Knights, but she directly selected at Class B. I obviously will not tell Ellen that though. I've given the advancement exam and passed. I am now a level C trainee, but my aim is to enter at Class A, she said while determination flooded her eyes. I know that she will try her best and work very hard to enter Class A, and she may just succeed, who knows. Ellen, let's go. I heard another voice from the background of her call. Hearing some of her college calling her, I have to go, Michael, we will talk later. Ellen said. I'll call you later. I sighed after seeing her progress. I leveled up because I had to experience a life and death situation, but she caught up to me with just a little training. This is the main difference between the strain of the monsters. Ellen's monster's talent may be low, but its strain is high. And her glass spider's ancestor is a higher strain monster, and by coincidence her monster is able to inherit the strain of the ancestor, making her progress even faster. Compared to her, my progress will be slow as a snail. I might be able to keep up with her till specialist stage, but after that, I don't know what I will do. Ashlyn has class 2 strain from which she could level up to the specialist stage, but after that, to promote further, she has to tap the most of her potential in her body. If she is able to do that, she will have no problem until she reaches her bloodline limit. Thinking there is no use going over it now, I decided to freshen up and head to the training facility after eating. Chapter 37, Reynard. Edited by Lamash LMZ. The training facility was same as ever, full of activity. Everyone was training with their own methods. There were various types of instrument, like pressure suits scattered around the floor. They were all good, but none could compare to the gravity chamber. Only advanced training facilities had the gravity chamber. It was the best training machinery available in the Republic. I checked to see if there were any pressure suits available for usage, even though the pressure suits are called a cheaper version of gravity chamber. The pressure suits looked like normal training suits but were a little heavier and applied pressure on the wearer's body according to their needs. Still, there are no suits available. I sighed at the results, but I was not surprised or shocked. Because there were rarely any suits available, most of them were already used by others. On another note, it is no fun fighting androids. I was about to go and find challengers to fight, but all the rings are occupied. Seeing this, I had no choice but to wait for a ring to empty. I watch some battles happening in the rings as I wait for a ring to empty. Soon enough, a battle was over and both of the parties got out of the ring. Before anyone else could enter, I hastily ran into the ring and started waiting for challengers to come. I didn't take a second for a challenger to come, but I got little startled by seeing their level. It's a specialist grade evolver. I had never fought against a specialist grade ever before. I only fought against people who were at the peak of private grade. You don't mind me challenging you, right? Do you? He asked with a polite smile. He looked quite old, around his mid-20s. I have seen very few people around that age here, especially those who were at specialist grade. He had a stocky body with a round face, a small beard grew upon it, and together with his long blonde hair he had a charming look. Of course not. To fight against a specialist grade is my fortune, I said with a smile. I am Michael. I continued by introducing myself. Reynard, he replied, and immediately the countdown started. We both held our weapons tight. He was using a falchion and I was using my katana. Ding! As soon as the bell rang, we both started to attack each other. Clank! Both of our weapons collided, resulting in Reynard being pushed back by 2 steps. Shock was clearly visible on face as he, a LV1 specialist grade, was forced 2 steps back from the attack of a measly LV2 private stage evolver. Quickly regaining his control over his emotions, he started to attack me again. Clank clank. Both of our swords went through multiple battles, but neither of us is able to gain an upper hand. I have not seen you before, are you new here? He asked while attacking, looking clearly relaxed, as though the fight had put zero strain on him. Yes, it's only been weeks since I've come to this building, I replied as we fought. That's good, he said, ending the conversation. If others were to see our fight, they would believe that we are equally matched and neither has an advantage on the other. But I knew the truth, it was different. I could tell that Reynard had total control over his body and was using minimum amounts of energy to counter my moves. Not just that, his moves, which seemed to be simple on the surface, had mysterious rhythm to it. It may be some kind of advances combat style. Clank clank clank. Seeing that the fight was not going anywhere, I gritted my teeth and I decided to circulate the first move of the second set of the Devil's Exercise. The pain hit me hard, but I endured it. Just as my power increased, so did Reynard's. He closely matched his power with mine, and yet again we come to a standstill. I smile wryly at this, but this was also a chance for me to refine my moves. With the expert fighting me, I can see my mistakes and the path to improvement more easily. Reynard seemed to be no hurry to finish the fight, and I have no problem with that. In fact, it was better for me, as the longer the fight lasted, the higher the chance to improve. When humans and monsters of the same level fought, the humans will win 70% of all fights. The monsters are inherently stronger and it had double the mana reserve than normal humans, but it still struggled to beat lower leveled humans. The reason was intelligence. The monsters have a very low intelligence. Only monsters bonded with humans had a chance of gaining higher intelligence. If it had been any specialist monster instead of Reynard, it would be either dead or gravely injured. But with a human opponent like Reynard, I couldn't seem to get even the slightest upper hand. The feeling I got from him, I think he could finish me in maximum 3 moves if he wants to, and that was considering if I was lucky. As the fight progressed, Reynard started to increase the power behind his moves. Left with no other choice, I had to circulate the second movement of the exercise to keep up with him. Most of the people who were watching our fight soon lost interest, as they did not find anything fun or interesting in it, but for me, it is one of the best fights I've ever had yet. I was able to find many of my mistakes and started to fix them. Reynard, understandingly, did not rush the fight but increased the pressure on me, but it was at speed that neither too slow nor was it too fast. Slick. I failed to counter Reynard's sword and it grazed my shoulder. I would have gotten more injured if Reynard hadn't controlled the force behind the move. Soon, due to the great pressure increase, I had to circulate the third movement of the second set of the Demon's Exercise. The pain I felt was immense, but I had to endure it. I know that it will be difficult for me come across such opportunity again. I fought with Reynard for more than 2 hours and pressure of his sword kept constantly increasing. For a short while I was able to keep up, but soon the pressure increased even more. As expected, I got hit by Reynard more than 10 times, many times I tried to circulate fourth move but I was unable to. With there being no use fighting anymore, I admitted my loss. "Thank you," I said as I left the ring, but he just smiled and stayed there. Chapter 38, Practicing with Pressure Suits. I didn't leave after I finished my spar with Reynard because I wanted to watch Reynard's battles with other opponents. The second I left the ring, another person entered the ring to challenge the Reynard. It was none other than Nigel, the one who got beaten up by Madeline. He still looked gloomy, but not as much as the other day when he lost to Madeline. Nigel is at the peak of the specialist grade, whereas Reynard is still at Leave 1 of specialist stage. But that did not mean Nigel would win. I don't know why, but I had a feeling that Reynard is way stronger than he appears on the surface. And hopefully, with this matchup, I would learn of his true level of strength and skill. I was looking forward to this spar. I really wanted to know who would win this battle. They started to fight almost immediately, and Reynard still had a relaxed attitude, same as when he was fighting with me. They both kept exchanging moves, but Nigel was never able to gain the upper hand with Reynard. From what I see, I can tell that Reynard is way more powerful than I initially thought. Because he was handling Nigel with ease, nevertheless Nigel's performance is also quite good. Also, he was beaten quite badly by Madeline that day. I thought he was going to wallow in self-pity with how Madeline crushed him. Especially considering that it was in front of hundreds of people, paired with his abnormal obsession with Madeline. Though to my surprise, his performance had improved, but his face still looked gloomy. The fight was in full swing. Nigel is giving his everything except for his half skills. Watching him, I have to say he is quite talented with how he is using different types of moves on Reynard. Some of his combat moves looked quite complex, and it should have taken him a lot of hard work to perform them. While watching the spar, I kept an eye out for pressure suits. Hun. A sound escaped my mouth because I saw there were 3 pressure suits available. I was quite startled seeing this and was rooted on my spot for a while like a dumb idiot. But soon releasing this fact, I hastily walked towards the elevator without caring about the ongoing battle in the ring. I could watch it later on as all the fights were recorded. All the clips were available for free in the building's feed. I was practically skipping towards the elevator since the training facility which housed the pressure suits were in training facility number 5. I prayed that by the time I reached there, at least one would be left for me. There are about 100 pressure suits in the building, but the demand was in the thousands. They are the only training instruments in the building which never free for more than 5 minutes, and also in the highest demand. Fidgeting while I waited in the elevator, I hoped that others wouldn't have arrived before me. I was so tense that I felt that every single second spent in the elevator was equivalent to an hour. Ting. As soon the elevator arrived, it reached the training facility number 5 and the doors opened. I ran at full speed out of the elevator and towards the room with the highly demanded pressure suits. Thank God. I sighed of relief, as I looked at the pressure suit inside the glass case. After I finished flashing my hollow watch on the case, I opened the zip and I took out the pressure suit. This particular suit has a red and black color combination, is a little thicker than a normal training suit, and has a helmet, otherwise it looks exactly like my training suit. I take the pressure suit to the private changing room and wore it. The suit is completely skin tight, but not one part of my body visible through it. It is designed to be in that way so that it can apply some pressure on every part of my body, almost like increasing gravity. It was invented before the gravity chamber. So after gravity chamber became available, some modifications were made into it so that the one wearing it could experience something similar to increased gravity instead of higher pressure only. I got out of the room to see many people wearing the pressure suits and performing various exercises. Some were performing squats while the others were running in the tracks, and one weird girl is even dancing with the pressure suit on. I found an empty corner and increased the pressure setting to 100 kilograms. Slowly the pressure I felt increased as if I was wearing a suit of lead. I feel that I am freely able to move my body under 100 kilograms. So I started doing a simple exercise. Even though it is the basics, it is proven scientifically that doing any exercise using gravity chambers or pressure suits yields better results in body coordination and strength training. Feeling that I can manage 100 kilograms, I increase the pressure to the 200 kg. It was still bearable and I am able to perform simple exercises that I learned in school. Not just me but many people are also doing the basic high school level exercises. I can't spar using these suits even if these are the cheapest ones, as it is too expensive for me to afford a replacement or even repair in case of damage. So the only option left is to do basic exercises considering I do not know any advanced ones. So I kept increasing the weight of the suit by 100 kilograms until 500 kg, this time I truly felt the pressure. After slowly doing the exercise in the corner, I decided to run the track. There are many people running the tracks, some are slow while some are fast. But one thing common about them is that all of them are working hard. I even saw one of the youths fall down from exhaustion. After a while, I increased the pressure to 600 kilograms. As the weight of suit increased, my speed decreased to the point I started walking instead of running. So to counter this, I started to circulate the first move of the exercise. In return, I felt immense amounts of pain but also felt some more strength starting to flow inside my veins and bones. The main reason I am so excited about pressure is that it greatly helps ensure that I circulate the moves of the exercise and it helps at greater efficiency. It is proved that the best time do the exercise is while you exert your physical strength. As per my experience, the better you are at enduring the pain, the more progress you will make in circulating exercises. Even though it was obvious, I did not expect it to directly correlate to this extent. Soon, I upped the weight to 800 directly to push myself to the second step. I felt that it would have crushed me to death if I had not already begun circulating the second movement of the exercise, but I still felt huge pressure. Left with no other choice, I had to circulate the third movement of the exercise. Time passed on, it was late evening and I was still running across the track. The only thing different from this morning when I entered is that the weight of the suit is at 900 kg, 800 more than before. I still did not leave as I had promised something to myself. I promised that as long as I did not complete running one lap around the track with the weight of 1000 kgs, I would not leave. Few more hours passed, Ashlyn called to me. She says that she is feeling hungry but I ignore her and kept running. Before long, more than 8 hours have passed since I wore this suit. Currently, I am running with the weight of 990 kilograms. Every step is excruciating, it requires me to call upon every muscle in my body. So I grit my teeth and try to circulate the fourth movement of the exercise. Ah! I screamed in pain and a muffled voice rang through my helmet. But I am somehow able to circulate the fourth movement of the exercise. With the help of the newfound power, I increased the pressure to 1000 kilograms and completed a lap of the whole track. Yes! I screamed through the mask. My goal of the day is completed. I wanted to circulate the fourth movement second step of the exercise because I knew without it I would not have a chance to break the strain boundary. Even if I did, it would next to zero. Back when I was in my hometown, I had believed that with enough hard work I would be able to break the strain boundary. But it took only a week since I came to West Blood City that I have come to understand the truth. I have come to understand how naive I was. To break boundary, hard work is not enough, you need more than that. You needed luck. So all I can do for now is to try and complete 10 sets of the exercise, which will bring a qualitative change in my body while also increasing mine and Ashlyn's talent by a little. Above all, I can that this little increase in strength after the 10th set will help in breaking Ashlyn's strain limit. All I can do for now is hope that I am right. Chapter 39, Searing Hog. Days passed by, it is time to go hunting again. I have decided to hunt every 3 days. I need a lot of money, I need it to learn advanced combat styles and to buy magical artifacts, potions, and other things. I have finished preparation for everything I need in this trip. I bought a new training suit and this one is of better quality. After double checking everything is ready, I walk towards the door. Ashlyn, let's go. I shout and in 1 second, she is on my shoulder. It is early morning, the sun has risen fully. I have decided to leave earlier today because I wanted to have the full day at my disposal, unlike last time when I had to run away with all my might. The hovercar was already waiting for me. I got in and it soon dropped me to the Myasta market. The market had not changed, still active and crowded even this early morning. I didn't linger in the market after getting out of the hovercar, I immediately called for the armored one to take me to the boundary of Austin Lake. But this time, I chose a different area of the Austin Lake. My plan was to get familiar with this area so I can spend the night there. Not for now though, it is for when I reach the specialist stage. It is at night when monsters are the most active and it is also the time adventurers gain a big haul. But it is equally as dangerous because one can find themselves attacked by a large group of monster. I looked on, as the hovercar flew away after dropping me off. Projecting a map of the area, I decide which route to take as there are multiple areas marked as a high monster density area. Last time, I didn't need to as the area of I chose had a thin monster density. Except for this time, the area I chose had a higher density than last time but it is still less than high density monster areas. After choosing the route, I begin walking hoping to find a specialist grade monster yet the reality is cruel. I did not find a single specialist grade beast even after an hour that I spent walking in the forest. I continued to roam in the forest while feeling downhearted. When suddenly my gaze fell upon a yellow vine. The vine was coiled around a tree, I was about to walk away thinking it was just another normal yellow vine. But something inside me urges me to observe it more carefully. This vine was unusually dense and was circling tree stumps and branches. Oh, heavens! I said looking at the mature yellow vine snake. Yellow vine snakes are like gray spark sparrow, they are also a class 2 strain monster and their limit of evolution is specialist grade. But this is where the similarities end. Yellow vine snake is planted type monster meaning it is a treasure. Every part of a plant type monster is used in potion making, especially the heart and core. Its heart, sap, and core are the main ingredients in making a healing potion. A plant's core is also used to make a magical artifact for people who had healing powers, ensuring that all plant-type monsters are treasures but there was one problem in killing them. Their immense vitality, it made killing it very difficult. That was also the reason why every part of it is a treasure. If you cannot kill it in one move then forget about killing it. Considering that every plant-type monster has a super healing ability if it did not die in a single move then killing it would be very, very difficult since it can even heal fatal injuries in seconds. To hunt a plant-type monster was a very tiring job. I just took a brief look at it and walked away. To attempt to hunt it, it will take me too much mana and stamina. Moreover, I wasn't even sure I would be able to kill it. I decided to return here in the afternoon and try to kill it if it stays here. I spent some since I walked past that yellow vine snake and in this time I was only able to kill 2 level 2 private stage monsters. Besides they were the worst type, whose heart is the only useful material while other parts are a useless waste. Just as I was beginning to lament on my bad luck when I heard a faint grinding. I couldn't properly distinguish what made it was but I was sure it had something to do with rocks. I sneak towards the sound and I see the creature that made the sound. It turned out to be a big searing hog, it was busy sharpening its small tusks with the rocks. It is known as searing hog because when the creature attacks its tusks would turn red hot and could easily melt iron with a single touch. It had a thick skin which made it a little difficult to kill but if I am able to kill it. Furthermore, I will easily get 15 to 20,000 credits as its skin, tusk, and meat were all useful. Seeing me come towards it, it became vigilant. Its tusk started to turn red in preparation to attack. It runs towards me. Turns out despite its humongous body, it is relatively fast and it reaches me with just a second. Slice. I dodged its attack while struck its face to test its defense. Looking at a thin line of blood left behind on my sword and face, I decided that should be able to finish it off within 30 minutes if I circulate the third movement of the exercise. Grunt. It cried out loudly as I attack without waiting. I immediately started to circulate the third movement of the exercise. SSS. I sucked in cold breath and endured the pain. Whoosh clank. It countered my strike with its tusks as I was aiming for the neck, but I had no major worries as it will be dead soon. I keep attacking it without stop. It is able to sometimes counter, but most of the time it could only take the strike with its body. Its whole body is soon riddled with the injuries and its eyes turn red in the anger, but it is helpless against my strikes. It tried to escape, but I was faster. Soon it started to slow down due to excessive blood loss. Clank. It somehow countered my attack, but it zoned out due to shock. Seeing my chance, I moved my sword to stab its eye. I tried it previously but I failed as it dodged on time, but this time I had full confidence. Poochie. Thud. As my sword stabbed through its eyes and within a second it fell on the ground with a loud thud. Without wasting my time, I started to skin and pack it as it is worth 20,000 credits. Chapter 40, Luring the Aqua Bulls. I lifted my backpack and wore it. It became heavy but I still able to walk with it. First I planned on burying heavy monster parts and picking them after hunting, but obviously that method didn't work as I did it last time, as it got very late hinting iron rhinos and I decided to forego it seeing it was very late. The Austin Lake had many monsters but most of them at private stage. I had killed tens of LV.1 and LV2 monsters that come in my way. I decided to enter the core area of Austin Lake as there are more monsters that I could hunt. I silently started to make my way to the core area of Austin Lake. I had first decided to get familiar with monster hunting before venturing into the core area, but now it seems like I have to go inside to them. According to the map and information I brought, it says that the 2 km around Austin Lake are densely packed with the monster and all of them are in the peak of the private grade or specialist grade. Especially half km around Austin Lake is filled with the specialist grade monsters. I heard sounds of moose from the distance. It looks like a herd of aqua bulls ahead. I hide my backpack in a good spot and slowly crept into bushes and silently moved toward the sounds. I had guessed right, there are herd aqua bulls ahead, but the quantity of them is more than I imagined. There are looked to be more than 300 bulls in that herd, or maybe more, as I can clearly see them as they were far away. It is good that I am far away from them. If aqua bull to notice, all herd would follow me, attack me till the end. They were protective of their herd and would rarely found alone or in a small group. Ashlyn. Go and lure the bull out. I asked Ashlyn. Choo choo, she affirmed and flew away. Ashlyn is the best choice for lure aqua bull away. Aqua bulls are water elemental monsters who hate anything fire, and Ashlyn is small enough to easily dodge their water jets. Soon Ashley reaches the aqua bulls. She found the small group of aqua bull and started to irritate them by throwing fireballs at them. Provoked aqua bull also tried to use water jets on them, but it's no use. She easily dodges them with her tiny size. Moo! The monsters mooed loudly, but it is no use. Seeing the commotion in the corner, aqua bull's leader also looked toward, but seeing it's only private stage small sparrow, he looked away after losing interest. Ashlyn doing quite a good job provoking them. She just has to keep doing it for some time and leave. 1 or 2 aqua bull will easily follow. What I fear is the leader of the herd. It is looked mutated and nearly double that of normal aqua bull size. I hope it didn't care 1 or 2 bull chasing the little sparrow. I silently crept out of bushes. I didn't want that mutated aqua bull to get the smell of me. I heaved a sigh of relief after getting out of that bull's vision range. That mutated bull gave me creeps whenever I looked at it. In my current level, if I come across it, I don't think I will able to beat it despite it being LV1 specialist grade. I will have no but run if I ever come across it. I walked toward the area where I hid my backpack. I quickly wore it and started to walk toward the place where I asked Ashley to lure the bull. The place I chose is very far from the herd of aqua bulls. Even if anyone cried out of its lungs, I don't think the herd able to hear it. In half an hour, I reached the place where I told Ashlyn to lure the bull. I hid my backpack in the indiscreet location and found the spot to hide. I wanted to land a sneak attack on it and kill it in one shot. Whoosh clank. My sword deflected the thing. I was hiding on the spot silently waiting for the Allen to lure the bull in. As I was waiting, I felt life-threatening sensation on my back. Without waiting, I activated my grade 1 magical artifact and swing behind me. Luckily I countered that thing which is attacking me. When I looked to see what attacked me, it looked like a snake which made of countless pebbles. Pebble snake. I said out loud, it is pebble snake. It is 1 long snake which made of countless thumb-size pebbles, and it is leave 1 specialist grade monster. This pebble snake has low-class toe strain, but it had an earth-shaking origin. It is said that it had originated from Medusa origin. There happen many cases when pebble snake has awakened higher strain. Hiss, it hisses at me, showing its fangs which seems to drip with a black substance. If it were able to bit me, I'll be gone. Its poison has a strong petrification effect which can easily stun me for a full minute. Seeing it's going to attack me again, I started to circulate the third movement of the exercise. I don't want to take any chances. Single bite from this pebble snake and I am surely dead. Clank, it was thrown away far by my attack. I waited to grip my sword and waited for it attacks it again. The one good thing is, despite it made of rocks, its defense is not that good. If I am able to hit 2-3 times, it sure will be dead. I waited for it to attack, but 10 minutes passed and then 15, but there is no sign of it. First thought came into my mind that it ran away, and this is also a best possible option, but I didn't want to take any chances, so I decided to check if it ran away or not. I slowly walked toward the direction where it flew away when it hit my sword. Walking toward that direction, oh! I exclaimed, seeing pebble snake lying on the earth and cracks could be seen on its pebbly head. Looks like it was killed by my single sword strike. Chapter 41, Fighting the Aqua Bulls. Edited by Loomis LMZ. To be safe, I again hit its head again with a sword. Some monsters are really vicious. They act dead and attack when one got really close to it. It didn't move when I hit its head with my sword. This pebble snake is treasure, each and every part of it. Aside from its core, its fangs, and petrifying poison had its uses, but the most expensive thing is a body. The pebble that made of its use as fertilizer, very expensive fertilizer, the fertilizer used for precious plants and herbs. Within 5 minutes, I separated all parts off and put them into my backpack. If I am able to hunt the bull, this trip will be very fruitful and I will be able to earn more than the last trip, but it all depends on Ashlyn. After hiding my backpack, I hid again on my previous, but this time I am more vigilant. I still shudder when I thought about that pebble snake sneak attack. If that snake had a little bit faster and able to bite, I would have been lying dead and my heart being eaten by it. About time, I whispered when I felt Ashlyn is coming closer. She will arrive in a few minutes. Ashlyn and I can sense each other. It would be nice if I can see what she is seeing, but it not possible private grade. It is only possible at advanced grade. Moo. Moo. I heard loud mooing from the aqua bulls. I told Ashlyn only to lure only 1 bull, but from the sound seemed like she brought 2 bulls. Ashlyn coming closer and closes rose from my heart, and I waited patiently for her to arrive. As soon as she comes luring those aqua bulls, I'll attack them sneakily at the perfect moment. Chew. Ashlyn comes flying and started shooting toward the direction she came from, an irritating tone. Moo. The bulls moved out. Swoosh. Suddenly a water jet comes out of the tree, trying to hit Ashlyn, but she easily dodged it with a flap of her wings. Moo. Thud. Soon, 3 equal bulls come out of the thicket and started to attack Ashlyn with their water jets. This concentrated water attack is really dangerous. If it hit, I would definitely get injured. Fuck. I cursed inside my mind. I specifically advocated Ashlyn that not to lure more than 2 bulls, and now they are 3. If it had been normal specialist grade monsters, I would handle it easily by circulating third move, but the problem with these Aqua Bull is that thud. A branch of a tree fell, the water jet attack misses Ashlyn and hit the tree branch, that is thick as my thigh. One can imagine what will happen if it touched me. These three Aqua Bulls, white in color and thin layer of water could be seen covering its whole body. As its name suggests, it is water elemental monster, and that thin water screen on its body is its defensive and healing measure. Its defense is not as strong as earlier Searing Hog, but its healing capabilities are quite good, because that extremely thin water screen spread all over its body. Whenever it received an injury, that thin water screen will concentrate over the wound and help it heal speedily. Have two offensive methods. First are water jet, which it throws from its body, and another one its horns. It has a quite good offense, and if I want to kill three of these Aqua Bulls, it will be quite difficult to kill them. I would have walked away, but I have put up too much time and energy on these bull. If I leave now, I will waste quite a time before I find my next prey, and I didn't even know to find it and kill before the time of leaving. I wanted to kill them at my full power. I started circulating the moves of the exercise. I can circulate till the third move. The pain of fourth one for me is too difficult to handle. Moo. Aqua Bulls mooed in anger as Ashlyn kept angering them. I watch the bulls as I wait for the perfect moment while I keep circulating the third movement of the exercise. I would have lightened my sword with my fire, but water elemental monsters tend to have a sensitivity toward heat. I didn't wait for long before the perfect moment came. The Aqua Bull is only 5-6 steps away from me, and all three of their gazes are forward, same as me. This perfect chance for me to attack. Controlling my breathing, I leapt out of my place to attack it. My aim is its skull. Time slow down, I speedily move toward it. Sensing my attack, all Aqua Bulls look toward me and prepare to attack. Boom. Ashlyn had summoned big fireball and attack when three bull mind diverted to me. She took out one bull with her fire. It will not disturb me for few seconds, and Ashlyn also can't help me for few seconds as she had just summoned a big fireball. I lighten my sword with fire as I was when I was inches away from the Aqua Bull. The one I am attacking is only 5 or 6 steps away from, while other two bulls 2 or 3 meters away. They won't be able to save their kin from me even if they wanted to. This bull, nearly helpless, out of instinct, it moves its head toward me to attack me with its horns, and that is what I was counting on, as it will make killing it even faster. I was experiencing all this at very slow speed. I know I can't make any mistake in this. If I miss, then that bull's horns will directly pierce my chest, but that won't happen as between us there is still a distance of sword. Sizzle, sound rang out as my fiery sword touched the thin water screen, but it didn't obstruct my sword as it touched its skull and started piercing it inside. Corner of my eye could see Ashlyn trying to summon fireball in front of her, but it is forming very slow. The second bull hand nearly formed water globe in its mouth, and its water jet will hit me at any moment, while the bull that Ashlyn attack also forming water in its mouth, but that attack came a little late than first bull. Poochie, my whole sword entered the skull of the Aqua Bull and it's lost its shine in its eyes. My problems aren't over yet, their life-threatening attack coming toward me. Part 3 of the series ends here. If you enjoyed it, please give us a like and subscribe so we can be motivated to make even better videos in the future.